With her heart pounding, Joseline sat by the bed and mentally reenacted the incident, seeing her fiancé. Becoming entangled in sheets with another woman was a betrayal she never anticipated, as she had shaped her life around him and trusted in their love. Now it felt like a cruel joke. What on earth was I thinking? Her phone buzzed next to her, but she couldn't force herself to look since the last thing she needed was to hear his justifications. She muttered, fighting back tears as her emotions whirled, rage, hurt, and disbelief, each one piercing deeper than the last. His voice dropped as the front door cracked open, and he entered with a smug expression on his face. "Hey, baby," he said. Joseline could feel the heat rising in her cheeks as he noticed the expression on her face, a mixture of anger and sadness. "Don't hey baby me." For a minute, she thought she saw shame flicker across his face as he started to explain, but she interrupted him, saying, "You think I want to hear your pathetic excuses?" She sprang back, standing up, her eyes burning. "How could you do this to me after everything we've been through?" she asked. Her voice faltered, but she refused to back down. "I walked in on you and witnessed it firsthand. What could you say to make this okay?" He shuffled uneasily, looking for words, but they didn't mean anything, "I promise." With a bitter laugh, "Joseline, you believe that the sound coming from the walls will help things. Your bedmate was another woman, and you want to act normal. You have no idea how much you've broken me right now." Her feelings grew stronger, and she moved closer, sticking her finger into his chest. "You betrayed my trust." "I'm sorry," he mumbled, the arrogance replaced by desperation. "I messed up. I was weak." Weak is your excuse, and it doesn't just harm you. It ruins everything in its path. I've given you everything, my heart, my time, my soul, and this is how you thank me. I deserve better than to be a fallback or second choice, even though Joseline's voice was forceful. Planned as she spoke, tears streamed down her cheeks, each one serving as a reminder of her broken heart. "I fought so hard for us and our future, and you threw it away as if it didn't matter." Her voice broke the weight of betrayal pressing down on her, and he reached out to touch her, but she flinched and stepped back, saying, Don't you dare try to comfort me after what you've done." She was shaking now, with a mixture of sadness and anger running through her. "I can't believe I trusted you." Joseline took a deep breath to gather herself. "You've made your decision, and it's obvious where your loyalties lie. If you think I'm going to stay here while you play with my heart, you're in for another surprise." "Joseline, please stop," she yelled, interrupting him once more. "If you want to toss everything away for a good night, that's fine, but don't expect me to sit here and take it. I'm done and won't be your backup plan anymore." In the deafening stillness that ensued, she felt the tears fall, but this time they were tears of power rather than despair. "I'm not going to let you break me. I'll come out of this stronger and better than ever," he said, looking at her realization. "You think you can walk all over me and get away with it, but I won't be your slave." "Dawning, you're serious about this?" Joseline dried her eyes and stood higher than before. "You can bet I'm going to regain my power." Victim, she felt the rage gradually turning into a steely determination as she turned away. He called after her as she was walking toward the door, but she didn't turn around. "You'll regret this," he whispered, but she grinned, knowing that her future was bright without him. "I'm done with this chapter of my life. It's time for me to focus on myself. I deserve respect, love, and loyalty, not this betrayal." Joseline breathed deeply as she went out into the night, the air crisp and energizing, prepared to welcome the next phase of her life, one in which she was in charge. She is unstoppable and unrepentant.
Joseline stinks. She smells like mop water, and somebody needs to talk.
When Jailing and Ballistic made their Instagram official in April 2019, everything seemed picture perfect. Ballistic is a gifted music producer, and Jailing not only collaborated on music, but also became well known on reality TV by appearing in series like Love and Hip Hop. By September of the same year, they were engaged to Joseline's Cabrera and Miami marriage boot camp. In a poignant birthday message, Joseline gushed about him, calling him the sweetest man and requesting that he live out the remainder of his natural life with me Whether these hygiene accusations are true or not, the breakup has definitely drawn attention, and let's face it, Joseline needs some serious cleaning up to do both literally and figuratively. She promised loyalty, love, and everything in between, but hold on, things have taken a drastic turn for the worse. Ballistic is allegedly moving on and airing out Joseline's dirty laundry. We're talking about the same Joseline who faced off against armed police officers and survived to tell the story, so anyone who believes they can come for her and get away with it must be living under a rock, because everyone, including their mother, knows that she doesn't play CS and is quick to throw hands if you even breathe incorrectly in her direction. That's the kind of energy we're here for.
Stop resisting! Stop kicking! Stop! Hey!
Because Carissa isn't the first to spill the tea on Joseline's purported funk, Carlos truly believes she could drag her personal hygiene through the mud and avoid getting caught. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Carissa was right for being messy, but perhaps Joseline should think about some solutions rather than bowing every time someone makes a suggestion about Miss Joseline's scent problem. Let's face it, nobody can be telling the same lie anymore, and this whole stanky saga only began a few days ago. As soon as Joseline strutted in the air, you could feel the tension simmering like a pot about to boil over. And Joseline wasn't holding back when she made a guest appearance on the anti-podcast hosted by none other than Tokyo Tony Tia Kim. You guessed it, Carissa herself. Sis came in full force, calling Carissa a sour old lady and outright accusing her of jealousy because, in contrast to Carissa's dusty dreams, Joseline is at least 20 years younger and has receipts for days. However, Joseline didn't stop there. She boasted about how, while Carissa's son is sitting up in jail, she's out here making millions for Zia's network and making young girls famous. Talk about a low blow. But then the true twist arrived. I can't wait to see how this showdown plays out. Joseline twisted the knife, calling out Carissa's funky breath and her incapacity to dress to save her life. Baby Joseline was roasting like it was a family reunion, and Carissa just sat there taking it all on the chin like a pro.
We too grown for this.
That way. Right, that's why.
Respect people's boundaries and
right, and that's what I'm saying. People need to learn how to respect each other. It's okay, y'all the aunties and the
Since you
teens.
came out here respectable, I was expecting you to come out here like, oh, ready on go.
I brought y'all flowers.
Yeah.
I brought you a gift, and then you got this crusty old lady sitting up here talking. Hold on, T. Come on, auntie. Hold on. She's very disrespectful. I came out here with gifts. I haven't even gave y'all the gifts I brought you. I came out here with flowers. I'm congratulating you. Thank you for having me. You know how much money I made Sue's network? Do you know I was outside of your daughter, I was the only other one.
Outside of me, she didn't do
Girl. But go ahead.
Carissa felt embarrassed by the situation, but she wasn't going to give Joseline the last word, darling. A few days after that dubious interview went viral, Carlosa went live on Instagram, and well, she had a lot to say. She lacked the bravery to look at Joseline in person during the interview, but she discovered her voice behind the screen. Carlos Joseline was accused by Let It All Hang out of having a funky coupe and leaking information about how she allegedly forced the producers to delete portions of the interview so that it appeared as though Carissa was unexpectedly pursuing her. According to Carissa, a strange aroma pervaded the room when Joseline first walked in. The streets were ablaze with people saying that Carissa should have maintained the same energy when she was sitting across from Joseline instead of waiting to pop off online. One person said politely, "If you've ever been around Joseline, you know this. But it's not tea because Joseline will tell you she doesn't wear deodorant for environmental reasons." At first, everyone assumed it was just one of the cameramen who didn't know what soap was, but after a minute, it became evident that the scent was actually coming directly from her private area. Noting and thinking, you embarrassed her because she already knows another person. Now that I heard Carissa's side and I watched the playback of the show, Carissa was blanking and looking like something funky. Oh, but keep in mind, this drama train wasn't going to stop anytime soon. People were quick to remind everyone that this wasn't the first time that Joseline had been accused of having a slightly off scent, and they began dragging her all over again. They were saying that instead of swinging on anyone who dared to bring up her little funk situation, Carlos couldn't leave it alone. More shade. Joseline was accused of having a BBL on top of everything, saying, "Girl, haven't you had enough?" Carlos was really going all out for drama, trying to extract as much messiness as possible out of the entire situation. She claimed that they are getting these BBs and forgetting they had fun. When Joseline's claimed hygiene problems first surfaced on the streets, it was during her feud with Kay in 2017. Michelle Joseline chose to get personal while in her petty bag by bringing up the awkward incident in which rapper Uncle Murda claimed that K Michelle was having a stank situation. Joseline even went so far as to recommend some home remedies and AR that K Michelle may take to deal with the funk.
Dinero, 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 dinero. Wait, that ain't that funky, funky? How much was that? You ever heard of that? You ever heard of this right here? Right here? That's what you need right there. Just that. And we were supposed in 28 days. You can get that. I'm about to do it right now.